Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you finally for part 2 of the best movies of 2020 video, and this is for part 2 of best movies of 2020 video. So I'm going to continue where I left off from the last one I talked about and let you know my thoughts on what I think of these movies. So let's start in the top 5 now. We're in the top 5 with Underwater at number 5. Now, I actually didn't hate this movie. This was actually really good. Kristen Stewart didn't do so bad in this movie. I was actually impressed with her in this movie. Maybe not a great actress, but for this role, she was good in it. Um, yeah, and there were other cast members as well that I recognized, but can't remember most of the cast members' names. You'll have to remind me in the comment section below. But they were trying to pretty much, they have to figure out how to get away from this underwater monster, this big giant underwater monster that's coming after them one by one and killing them too. So you find out what the monster looks like towards the end of the movie, and you're like, holy shit. You're just like, damn, that's a big motherfucking monster. But yeah, it's a great movie. It made it in my top 5. So that's a plus that it made it in my top 5. So kudos to Kristen Stewart for actually having a good acting performance in this movie. So at number 5, I picked Underwater. Number 4, I picked Clouds, the Disney Plus movie. Now, this is based on a true story about a kid who was battling with cancer, and he made a popular song back in 2013, I believe, called Clouds. And it's really sad that he passed away due to cancer, his long prolonging battle with cancer or whatever. Which is really sad. I don't know what kind. I think it was like stage 4 or something like that, or building up to that. And it's really awful. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was one of the better movies this year. It made it in my top 5, so I'm really glad that it did. Movie just, it just hits you right in the soul and in the feels too. Some moments in the movie where he just feels like all he ever does is uh, feel bad about himself for not wanting to live life to the fullest or whatever. So he's living one day at a time until, unfortunately, his time's up, which is really sad. I don't want to say that to be negative. I'm just saying that this was a great movie. I highly recommend you check it out on Disney Plus. And at number 4, I picked Clouds. Number 3, I picked The Gentleman. This was a pretty awesome movie. It tells a few backstories before it gets to where it's going now, before it gets to the present part of where it is at the beginning of the movie. Shows Charlie Hunnam running away from something, or someone or whatever, and he's in this kitchen or whatever at this restaurant, where they bake the food and all that, and then someone appears to him, and he apparently tells him what happens before the now. And it explains itself when you keep going into the movie and dive a little more invested in the movie. Once you get more invested in the movie, you start to really love it. And it's a great movie. I personally liked it. Yeah, it may seem confusing when you first watch it and are like, what the fuck is going on? And then once you keep watching it, you start to follow the story and what it's trying to tell you. as a audience viewer or whatever. But still, I enjoyed The Gentleman. It had Matthew McConaughey in it, Ben, or not Ben something, Henry Golding. That's what I was thinking of. Uh, I almost said Ben something. I'm not sure what I was trying to say there. Um, yeah, Henry Golding was in the movie, and also Charlie Hunnam, and a few other actors as well. So it has a really good cast in it, and I highly recommend you check this movie out if you haven't seen it. So at number 3, I picked The Gentleman. This is one of my favorite movies that came out this year. At number 2, we have Hamilton. This would have been my number 1, but there's something else that did a lot better to make it to my number 1, which I'll mention that in a moment, what my number 1 pick is. Yeah, Hamilton was a really long movie. It is a musical, so you're in for a lot of singing in this movie and telling his story, Alexander Hamilton's story. And it is like over 2.5 hours, so you're in for a very lengthy movie. Maybe like 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think. But it's pretty enjoyable. With how they're singing along to it, and the ranges on their voices are pretty good. But it's mostly telling the story of Alexander Hamilton and why he was, I think he was on the Declaration of Independence or something like that. I don't know a lot about my history, so I'm really sorry. But still, I enjoyed this movie. It was really good. It is pretty lengthy. So there's going to be an intermission part towards almost an hour and a half of the movie. And then you get into the rest of the movie, which gets a lot better. And I definitely did enjoy this movie. So at number 2, I picked Hamilton. Number 1, drum roll please, Pixar's Soul. Now, this was one of my favorite movies this year. I really enjoyed it. It came out this past Christmas day or whatever, like almost last week. But it was really enjoyable. And Jamie Foxx playing as Joe Gardner, the animated character Joe Gardner in the movie Soul. He did really awesome playing his character, and voicing over his character. So it sounded really good. And Tina Fey plays as a number 22 character or whatever, like this being or something like that. Apparently in the movie, if you saw my movie review, which I hope you enjoyed it, Jamie Foxx apparently, well, Joe Gardner, I meant to say, his character dies in the movie. He gets a name for himself, and he's about ready to make the biggest career of his life or whatever, or start a new chapter in his life, and then boom, he just falls down a well and dies. So it's pretty interesting what happens next, which he goes to this thing called the Great Before, and he apparently meets Tina Fey, which is number 22, her character, and has to mentor that character into going to Earth and all that, and getting ready to go to the new world that she wants to live. And it gets to that point towards the end of the movie where she actually does get that wish to go there, to go to Earth. And it ends at a good note. This movie was not disappointing. This was a really awesome movie. I think it's one of my favorite movies of the year. And it made Movie of the Year this year. So congratulations, Pixar Soul. You made it on my list as Movie of the Year. But yeah, number 1, I picked Pixar Soul. It's one of my favorite movies this year, and I really love it. and I definitely see myself buying it on Blu-ray for sure, or DVD. But that's going to be it for the best movies of 2020 videos. Comment below and let me know what your best movies of 2020 are. If you have a list for it, because I only picked 12, because there wasn't a lot this year for best movies, because due to COVID, things got delayed and all that, but I will be returning to you for a live stream tomorrow. I'm probably just going to take a break the rest of the day, because I haven't been really feeling that great, to be honest. My mental health is just out of whack today. And yesterday night, I was not doing very good. Just wanted to be honest with you guys, because I've been going through a lot this whole year. And yeah, with depression and all that, it really sucks. So yeah, I wasn't doing that great, but I think my day will go a little smoother. I don't know for sure. I just gotta keep thinking positive, and hopefully it does go a lot better than it did yesterday night. But yeah, I just wanted to come at you to be honest with what I've been struggling with, because I didn't want to disappoint you guys towards the end of the video saying I've been suffering with severe depression and all that lately, which I am, but I'm managing it somehow. But I hope you did enjoy this best movies of 2020, and Pixar Soul is a great movie. Highly recommend you guys check it out on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus, definitely get it, because you won't be disappointed with getting it, and it will be worth owning the DVD too. So I'm definitely gonna get my hands on this DVD for Pixar Soul when it comes out. It's only out on Disney Plus right now, but it will be out on DVD eventually. But still, I hope you enjoyed this best movies of 2020 part 2 video. I know I talked about what I was going through recently with depression and all that just for a moment, but I just had to come out and be honest with you guys and tell you that I'm not doing very good, but I'm hanging in there. That's all I can say. But I will definitely see you in the next video, whatever that may be. The next video I do for a video will probably be the Cane Hill track reviews, and then I'll be doing the live stream tomorrow, so definitely tune in for that. It's going to be early afternoon tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed this best movies of 2020 part 2 video. Sorry that I made it a little depressing towards the end of it. Definitely stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in my next video.